Faking and flopping has always been a part of UFC and MMA. There were many guys who were tricking referees and other men to get the advantage of some unfair movement or so. Flops happen from time to time, and fakers and pretenders are present in every sport, as well as you know. It's just a matter of question if the referee is going to see the dirty move. We've chosen the biggest MMA fakers according to the ability to act and trick referee think the foul actually happened. In the best case, the referee will sanction the flopper. But what happens if the referee's vision was blurred on that day? Then the biggest MMA fakers gain an advantage. And I just wanna say, all the fakers have one thing in common. These dirty fighters were pretending to be hurt during the match only to gain some illegal advantage, point abduction, or even a disqualification. We hope you will enjoy our list of top 6 biggest MMA fakers, floppers, and pretenders who ruined MMA events. Number 6. Bob Sapp vs. Dusan Panayotovic, Night of the Champions 2012. The event was held in Belgrade, Serbia on September 15, 2012. Panayotovic was an average Serbian fighter and the odds on Bob Sapp were big. But the ones who watched that fight could only say it was a real shame watching one of the biggest MMA fakers. At the end of the first minute, Sapp gave a signal to his rival by extending his left hand. Panayotovic raised hooks and the beast pretended one strike hit him hard. It was actually, if I remember well, a left jab. He went down and his belly covered up, turtled, while the Serbian competitor was attacking from the top. The referee stopped the fight and the Sapp lost via TKO. Come on, man, you even give the signals now. I mean, do you work in a lighthouse? Maybe you're a cop? Heard that dump? Number 5. Eddie Bengtson vs. Alexander Emelianenko, Pro FC Commonwealth Cup. Pro FC Commonwealth Cup was held on April 23rd, 29 in Moscow, Russia. It was obvious that Bengtson was looking for the way out of the match as soon as it started. He is the first fighter who was put to sleep by air. After 40 seconds of the match, Fedor's brother threw something that looked like a jab. It didn't hit Eddie, but he collapsed in a bizarre fashion to the canvas. That is great, he is the first man who fell down after an opponent missed him. The fight was stopped and the Russian fighter was claimed winner via TKO. You know, Bengtson stood up and walked normally as soon as the match was called off. Can you believe the Icelandic fighter is one of the biggest MMA fakers? That's the reason why I'll never put him on the Icelandic list, of course. Number 4. Yuri Alcantara vs. Pedro the Rock Nobra, UFC on FX7. Nicknames aren't always real in MMA. Sometimes they don't show the real value. I wouldn't name Nobra the Rock, I would say a flock. You should never step inside the octagon if you wanted to act like Bruce Willis. You failed the profession, man. The match took place on January 19, 2013. The Brazilian fighter took Nobra's back and rained hooks, yet Pedro grabbed the back of his head, claiming he was unable to continue after a punch to the cerebellum. Okay, the strike may have touched it, but it was obvious Alcantara was targeting the lateral side of his head. He even pursued the referee Dan Miragliotta and the fight was declared as a no contest. It happens when you fight one of the biggest MMA fakers of all time, of course. Yet Dana White later said that Nobra faked and he even paid Yuri Alcantara a win bonus later. The Rock was released from the UFC immediately after match. He can only herd the cows now, nobody wants such a soft fighter inside the cage. Number 3. Josh Koscheck vs. Anthony Johnson, UFC 106. Here comes one of the biggest MMA fakers in the history of this sport. He was also on his knees, Josh Koscheck is a man who fakes off the knees so well. Rumble tried to land the knee, but he hit Koscheck's arm, not the eye. Yet, Kos grabbed his left eye and pretended he was seriously hurt. On November 21st, 29, he has been one of the best actors ever seen. He could easily win the Cannes Movie Festival Award, the Cannes Movie Festival Award if there was one of the biggest MMA fakers. If there was a title, of course, we'd see whether he could act versus one of the best Muay Thai fighters, Donald Cerrone, for example. Number 2. Ozzie Thomas vs. Mario Said, Cage Warriors 72. The event was held on September 13, 2014. Both fighters were not known, but one of them became the superstar. And only because of his flopping, Said won via disqualification because of an illegal kick. But what actually really happened? Oh, this had to hurt. Thomas fought one of the biggest MMA fakers. There was no kick at all. I mean, so what? He only touched him. Ozzie Thomas was on his back while Mario was in the full guard. An illegal upkick was delivered to Said's face. The Iranian first looked at the referee and then went down like he was hit by a baseball bat. Let's remember, when an opponent has his knee or hand touching the ground, the rival mustn't deliver a kick to the face. Okay, Thomas touched him, but he didn't cut his head off. Man, I have never seen a better actor before. It was so obvious. He complained to the referee, pretending to be unconscious at the same time. He's one of the biggest MMA fakers ever. Number 1. Josh Koscheck vs Paul Daly, UFC 113. Josh Koscheck earned the first place on the list of the biggest MMA fakers. He tricked Denver Glad at UFC 113 on May 9, 2019. He was on his knees and Paul Daly tried to deliver a knee to his face. If Daly really hit that strike, it would have been an illegal move, but since he missed, it was nothing. But Kos faked like a pro. He even fell down and grabbed his forehead, starting rolling over the floor. Miragliotta abducted 1 point to Paul Daly, and Koscheck later won via unanimous decision. Paul Daly was furious and sucker punched Josh Koscheck at the end of the match. Daly hasn't fought since because Dana White wasn't impressed with his behavior. And in the end, just to say that fakers and pretenders are trademarks of many sports, especially soccer. You know how many times the referee gave a red card for a reckless foul, and only because the player pretended the rival could hurt him badly with a sliding tackle? Well, the same happens in martial arts. Of course, you can't fake that much, but it happens from time to time. Gotta say it. Don't forget to rate and subscribe if you like our content. Please visit us at besttoplistbg.com and please tell us if you're interested in some other topic.